Hi guys, hope you're all doing well. I wanted to walk you through my thinking process when I'm looking at a trading opportunity. So I wanted to talk you through a trade on Barracuda, symbol CUDA. Now, originally back in early this year, I actually was already in this trade because I already had identified a pullback in this position. Let me just show you the original trade. So I noticed a fairly strong move up. And if you've been following me for a while, you know that I like to see pullbacks. And, we saw a pullback here early this year in 2015, back around, this is in around February. Now, from memory, I think I got in around this bar here because I like to see the stock at least start to make a few new highs, after the pullback. Now, the stock did in fact move in my favor, but it then started to consolidate and move sideways a little bit. So I actually exited the trade somewhere around here at that point in time, and I think it was just a scratch trade, break even, because I entered somewhere around here and basically got out at the same price because the stock basically moved sideways for a couple of weeks. I may even have had to take a small loss because, as we know, options decay over time. So, because the stock was consolidating for a couple of weeks, I actually was of the opinion then that at some point we would get some sort of breakout either to the upside or to the downside. Now, I was only interested in this position if we were to get a breakout to the upside. And so, what I had actually identified for myself was a level here of around 41, which is just above those previous highs. I'll just try and make that clear for you. And I basically put into my brokerage platform an order that would automatically trigger to buy the call options that I wanted to buy, as soon as we were to get above this 41 level. Now that happened yesterday. So when I woke up the other day, I actually saw that I actually had these call options. And let me also make this chart a little bigger. And you can see, we've actually had a nice move from last night's trade as well. So the other thing that I will also mention is the reason that I actually like to trade on a pullback is because it lets you define your risk. So, when we have a pullback and we look to enter that position, and I like to see a couple of bars back into the desired direction. So in this case, we have a move down. Sometimes I might buy at this level, and this is a fairly significant pullback. I think I might have been at the 50% mark. But most of the times I will actually wait for the stock to turn around and start to at least take out that previous high, or I might even look at a lower time frame intraday chart to identify where the best entry might be. But what I'm trying to say here is that what that allows me to do, the reason I like pullbacks is it lets me define a level that if the stock then trades below, at least I can exit the trade. So it's a very low risk way of trading, because if you get a pullback, stock starts to move in your direction, but then if the stock doesn't continue to move in my favor and actually then comes back down and breaks this level, well, then that area is a fairly low risk opportunity, because you're not going to lose a lot if it does actually come back down and break that. Okay, now, so that was an older trade that I got into, and as I said, I exited because the stock, in this case Barracuda, started to move sideways a little, but because it was consolidating, I then was expecting a breakout at some point, whether that be to the upside or to the downside. And so I put a line in the sand, which was the previous highs, which is at previous resistance level, and automatically put in an order. I put in an order that would automatically trigger to buy call options if we were to break that, and that happened only a couple of days ago. Let me show you the options that I did actually buy. Let me just switch over to the platform, and I purchased these 35 call options that expire July 2015. And the reason I like this was the fact that from this chart, I am setting, from my experience, when you do get a breakout, a good expectation is another 10% move in the underlying stock. So the stock at the moment is around 42. So I would expect, if we're right in our prognosis, that we could eventually get up to around 50. So The other thing also I like about this chart is that we actually had some strong volume as well. Notice how the volume is actually fairly strong at this breakout. So that's another positive thing that we can put in our favor for this opportunity. Of course, that doesn't mean it's always going to work, but the more that we can put in our favor, the better our trade probability of success is going to be. Now, coming back to the options, so at this point, I purchased the 35 call options that expire in July because I want to give myself a fair bit of time to be right. And the reason I like those is because if we're writing a prognosis and we do in fact get up to this $50 mark, well, those options are going to be worth around $1,500. And you can see here that the purchase price for those is around $795. So we could expect a nice 100% return on investment should we be right on our prognosis and the stock in fact move towards our target, which is in fact that $50 level. And that's why I also want to give myself enough time to be right. So we've got a couple of months for this trade to work out. So folks, happy trading. Hope that helps. And remember to always manage your risk. And also just note that this material is provided for your education only.